Welcome back to the rough example Datsun 510 build. I'm Cameron. Um, just going to give you guys some updates today. We've been working like crazy all weekend trying to get this thing ready for paint. We got a lot of primer shot today and last night. Did first coat of primer on this hood. And last night we hung up the fenders and the trunk and everything, and just all of these window frames, and got some epoxy primer onto those. One thing that we've been working on this week is these doors, which have really turned out to be a pain. We thought that we had them pretty well sorted out. We'd done, I think, like 3 layers of filler on it, and we just kept finding low spots. Like it was almost like the car had been kind of pushed on the side because it just kept being really low here in the middle. So instead of doing our nice like sealer primer job we were going to do last night, we ended up having to throw another layer on, and then we finally got to the primer today. So this will take, this is going to have to get worked through, and we just loaded the primer on, like just dripping it all over to try and get a super thick layer to compensate for how like out of whack it is. But we'll have to skim this with some putty to get all these little pinholes and stuff fixed. But these doors are just a real pain. they just keep, it's like we think we're done, and then you find one more mistake on them. So if I had to do it again, I probably would have found a new set of doors, or maybe even just welded a new door skin on or something. But that ship has kind of sailed already. So is what it is. We also been working on just some of the finer tuning on the body. So we've done 2 coats of primer on here now, and I had to do a big repair this morning on this channel right here, which is a total pain because this had a bunch of little rust kind of pinholes in it. So I had to weld. I basically made a big L-shaped strip of metal and then welded it on the inside of here. And then this yellow stuff is the seam sealer that I kind of just put in there as like a glue to hold it on a little bit better, in addition to the welds, and to fill in all of those pinholes that I couldn't weld on, because it was just so thin that when you'd weld, it would just blow a hole in it. But yeah, I guess kind of the big announcement today is that we got the undercoating done in there, and we tinted it to match the color of the paint. So this is kind of the reveal for the paint color, I guess. This is a color from the new Hyundai Santa Fe, actually. They call it terracotta. I would call it the color of rust, and I guess it's nice because if this thing rusts out again, you just won't even notice it. But yeah, I mean, last night we sprayed it down, we had the car fully upside down and sprayed everything on the bottom side of it, and we went along basically any pieces that are going to get exposed to the elements. And then next week we're going to work on getting the engine bay sprayed with some color, and we're also going to spray the door jambs, and the interior is going to get sprayed the color. There's door panels that will go on here, but this top surface along the windows does get exposed. Like, you'll see the bare metal inside the car. So we need to paint all of this. Got to sand out my seams on the roll bar here to get those looking smooth. But our goal is that next Saturday we will have this into the paint booth. We're going to try and spray it Saturday night, and then Sunday we're going to go over, and it has an oven, so we can turn the heat on and totally bake the clear coat. That's going to be really nice because it's December, so it's freezing here in Utah. And if we didn't have that oven, it would be a real pain because we'd have to wait almost a month for it to fully cure. Another thing that we were working on today is we did a test fit of these riv nuts with the fender flare arches that get put on. We had added some filler on here, so we wanted to make sure that when we put the riv nuts in, it wasn't going to crack the filler. So we got that all out of the way. It was a little more work than I thought it would be, but we were able to get that sorted out and made sure that everything fit okay, so that when it comes time for paint, we're not having to mess up the fresh paint job. So I think that is kind of all the updates. Just a lot of primer, a lot of paint work, and next week hopefully we'll have some something good to show for you guys. So Caleb is just putting down some liquid on there to kind of help you figure out where the high spots and low spots are. You can see the reflections, and he's just using wax and grease remover, and that way he's able to just get an idea for whether everything is completely perfect and whether we need to put any more filler on anywhere else. So thanks for watching and following along. And I also have been posting some updates on my Instagram at Rough Example. And hopefully next week we'll have this thing into the paint booth and have something good to show you guys. Have a good one.